So I have all the windows open and the fan on the HVAC system running. Try to let fresh air in and let all this stale air out, especially vapor. Watching Max wander back and forth, I'm pretty sure the back door is open and he can go in and out as he pleases. Now, I'm pretty sure if I had harmed the dogs and or taken them from her or whatever her fucking friend had to say in that text message, they wouldn't be so playful. I just carried her outside. She's blind. She can find her way out sometimes, but... What are you doing, Macy? Oh, what a pretty baby. Yes, and you are too. Uh-huh. Yeah. What a good boy. Uh-huh. What a good boy. Yes, he is. He still gets playful sometimes. You're bad, aren't you? Don't roll in anything smelly. Come on. Don't want to leave the door open. Oh, he didn't want to play. He still gets playful sometimes. You go lay down. Don't follow me. It makes me nervous. I have no clue what her coworker was talking about. 50-year-old virgin pussy, and that I had taken Nanette's dogs from her. If I read the message correctly. Like, my cousin came at me and was like, what does this mean? Why is she sending this to me? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm sickened by it, but what do I know? They were concerned for her, probably because they hear me chanting sometimes when she's on conference calls or whatever. I'm not bipolar. If I am, we'll deal with it, but it's not that. That's another thing. Them wanting to label the mental illness as they see fit to limit liability on the people who fucking bludgeoned and raped me. It's sickening. Not only does it create, even more turmoil with the patient, that then they're not getting the proper treatment. It's fraud and it's medical malpractice. Actually, it'd be gross medical negligence and fraud. And it's not me feeling delusional or feeling like I'm being persecuted by law enforcement. It's just reality. It's my fucking disgusting reality. So as I asked, who are the truly delusional ones? I'm no saint. I never admitted to being a saint. I never said I was above the law. I never said that I have never broken the law. At the same time, with everything that was done to me and them continuing to fucking traumatize me, bullying me, with law enforcement's medical network recommending cannabis in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I've already listed that on paper and on video. Not to mention Mason County Sheriff's Department saying, yeah, go right ahead, Totally honest, not sarcastic at all that I could detect. Go right ahead with your, don't sell it, don't grow for others, but if you need it, do it. We'll have that understanding. I didn't say that I sold Kim Razor cannabis. I said Kim Razor purchased it. What proof do I have? Well, I'll lay a hell of a lot more people low if I have to. I already have some of the main hitters in her corner. Just like when I wasn't even growing, that cop taking what seeds I did have, totally legal seeds, putting them in a plastic container, whipping his dick out in front of me and pissing on them. Now, it takes a person with a lot of balls to confess everything I do, only for me to be called a fucking coward. If they're going to arrest me, as I've stated, I was groomed to make it enjoyable for them. So allow them to use force on a goddamn disabled person. They're going to do it anyway. They've only been threatening to kill me since I was 6 years old, claiming that it was safety for everybody else. Or for me, I mean. Safety for me. No, it was safety for everybody else, especially people like Lisa Williams, whatever her last name is now. As jailer, after filling our fucking heads full of all that bullshit, making 90 grand a year to drive a Tesla, all the while, corruption, but we're going to allow you to resign so you can keep your benefits and pension. Load of shit. Like Deputy Andrews, my ex-husband's mother, triple dipping into the retirement system. From Stephanie Schumacher's drug peddling department to Kirk Toll's court records department to MCSO with a badge and courtroom security. Triple dipping into the pension system, and they wonder why they're fucking bankrupt. The way the Ledger described Jeff Horde being rehired by MPD isn't quite entirely accurate from what I understand as far as pay and benefits and pension contributions, but I could be wrong. Stuffed chicken with rice is what she wants for dinner, and I guess that's fine with me. Oh, you know what? I meant to wash my sheets today, and I didn't do it. I would say there's still time, but her washer and dryer are slower than Christmas, and they're even newer than the ones I had in Mason County. Oh, left the fucking door up. Oh well, that's how little I really care, to be honest. If somebody wants you dead, they're going to kill you no matter what the fuck you do. And yes, I'm standing out in the driveway, not my driveway, the driveway in my nightgown. I have on pajama bottoms. You think I give a shit what anybody else thinks? Thank God several of the people around here keep cameras on their properties. Other people, I should say. Right side's drifting. Oh my God, it's so hard to maintain it without the right side drifting down. And then trying to use my right side. It doesn't really work. But I manage pretty well. It's not an intoxication thing. It takes a lot of power to focus all that nerve damage. It's best I can do is try, only for it to never be good enough. It's sickening. Absolutely sickening. You know what? I think there are two in the freezer. You know what? I really... To say I've lost all faith, and there's another reason. This door was the same way. Leaning on it. Leaning on us, I would be going into the refrigerator. I probably am a little bit paranoid about falling. That I can admit. But after everything, you wouldn't want to fall again either. I can fully admit I am probably paranoid about falling. A physical act. Paranoia about, like, mental things? There's no point in it. That's just like this movie with Premonition. She shows no signs of drug usage. They arrest her because they think she harmed her own child who ran through a plate glass door. What we have created for ourselves in Eva-fucking-lution is sickening. Chain these people in cages till they believe their side of the story, and if they refuse to believe their side of the story, have medical certify them as crazy. What fucking story do you think I've been detailing? They turned rape, R-A-P-E, rape, into nothing more than a delusion. For me. Oh, I was going to look at the dispensary prices. They have those gummy things, 40% off. It's already what time? 2 o'clock? I don't think I'll worry about it today. I have some. I like buying that shit when it's on sale and saving that much more money. People labeling it as an addiction are fucking sick. It does help a lot of different conditions. There's over 20 conditions that it's listed for in Ohio. And you know what? I feel like talking about it, and there is some time. Let me grab my glasses. There are several other conditions I think they should extend it to that they didn't during the last round of board approvals for what would be and wouldn't be qualifying conditions. One of the ones that they found that they didn't think was qualifying and said, you know what, we're not adding it to the list. I thought it was so dirty. I'm like, man, that's a really serious condition. How can they sit and deny that being approved on the recommendation for? But I can't remember now what it was. Ohio cannabis. Oh, I'm assuming that is a bronchospasm, whatever it was, where I was just like, I'm assuming it's the bronchospasm from moving. I don't know. Below is a current list of conditions. All right, so in Ohio, to qualify for cannabis, they have added more, never mind. AIDS, which is the complication of the HIV virus, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, Alzheimer's disease, arthritis, cachexia. I'm forget what that is. I think it's some kind of movement thing. Cancer, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which is swelling of the brain, Crohn's disease, inflammatory bowel disease, epilepsy or other seizure disorder, fibromyalgia, glaucoma, hep C, Huntington's disease, which is a horrible movement disorder, inflammatory bowel disease, which I should just list that instead of Crohn's. Anyway, multiple sclerosis, pain that is either chronic and severe or intractable, Parkinson's disease, another horrible movement disease, positive for HIV, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, sickle cell anemia, sickle cell disease, and the anemia associated with it, spasticity, which is pretty much muscular hardening, spasms, cramping, spinal cord disease or injury, which could mean like sarcoidosis or what is that, arachna something, or if fractured something, terminal illness, end stage COPD, kidney failure, whatever, Tourette's syndrome, traumatic brain injury, and ulcerative colitis, which is another form of inflammatory bowel disease. So technically, 3 of those were IBD. So 23 conditions qualifying for Ohio. And that says True Relief. Get my Ohio card. I'm assuming they would have the up-to-date list. The PTSD and Tourette's aren't listed on my paperwork. Mine's for fibromyalgia and pain, chronic pain. Most people probably think with my family's history of mental health, the cannabis makes it worse, but as you can see, it's recommended for PTSD. PTSD is hugely psychologically detailed or whatever. What was it that was on the, maybe it was anxiety. Depression or anxiety, one of those 2 serious mental health conditions was on the recommended list or recommendations to add to the qualifying conditions, and they didn't approve it. I thought it was hugely wrong, especially if it was depression. I see another ketamine company opened up here close by, the cheapest of them all, $1,800 for 6 rounds of ketamine, but it didn't list the dosages. I had considered ketamine therapy because ketamine, while being a good antidepressant apparently, and it like being long term, ketamine's apparently really good for rebooting the pain center of the brain in chronic pain. And I'm like, man, if I could do that and it work and not have to like do something daily, how fucking awesome would that be? How fucking awesome would that be? But because it's not approved for anything other than like during anesthesia, insurance won't pay for it, and it's not exactly cheap. That one I just mentioned said $1,800 for the 6 rounds of infusions, but the other places I talked to were between like $3,000 and $5,000 for the entire course of treatment, which they claim, all these places around here claim, that with those 6 infusions, you should be like good for at least, a year, if not completely okay, but then they do what they call booster doses for certain people. Believe me, I looked into it. I asked all kinds of questions. Because, as I've stated, the cannabis helps. It's not a cure-all, but the dry mouth side effect, as with any pain management, quite literally, is enough to make me want to throw it away too. But as I said, it's my reality. My reality. Nobody else has to live in this body. Nobody else has to live with everything that I've gone through with my friends, overstepping their bounds and using me at every opportunity, especially out of my medicine bag. It's like, can't you all just fucking leave me alone? I'm on all this fucking shit for a horrible reason, horrible reasons, and you all just think it's hilarious that I get prescribed high dosage morphine and oxycodone and Xanax. You find it hilarious. Well, not hilarious as in you're making fun of me for being disabled, but you just think it's crazy because I'm still so functional. Most people on these dosages of all these things are like terminal or whatever, and it's like, well, you know what? I went through hell and back with permanent nerve damage because of a bunch of fucking rapey perverts. So, you were raped when you were a kid? You can talk to me about it. I'm not going to judge you. Maybe you should take the goddamn time to be a friend and actually listen to my story. Oh my God, now I'm leaning against my bed doing stretching, and it feels like my left knee, whatever that fucking muscle is between the thigh and the calf, it feels like it's tearing. And that's the kind of pain I live with on the daily. I stretch, I walk, I try to stay healthy. Right now, that tendon or ligament or whatever the hell it is that feels like it's ripping in my left knee, yeah, man. Ripping. That's how I would describe the pain. And she's getting ready to approach her husband about cheating on her. Sandra Bullock is such an amazing actress. I just love her. That movie 28 Days, where she's in rehab, such a good movie. I think I actually have a VHS copy of it somewhere.